I've seen hundreds of blown engines come through my shop, and honestly, 85% of them could have been prevented. You can save yourself thousands of dollars in repairs just by following a few simple habits. But here's the truth. Most drivers don't know, and they end up paying $4,000 to $9,000 for rebuilds that didn't have to happen. Don't make that mistake. Let's get started. Tip number 17. Check the PCV valve. Almost no one talks about the PCV valve, yet it's one of the smallest parts that can cause some of the biggest problems. This tiny valve helps control pressure inside your engine and keeps harmful gases from building up. When it clogs or jams, your engine turns into a sludge machine, and the damage can be serious. Most of the cars that roll into my shop with rough idles or oil leaks have dirty or stuck PCV valves. And the worst part? The owners had no idea this part even existed. Here's what you need to do. Find the valve. It's usually on the valve cover with a small hose running to the intake. Pull it out and give it a shake. If it rattles, it's fine. If it's silent or feels stuck, replace it. It's cheap and easy to do. While you're at it, check all the hoses connected to it. Look for cracks, splits, or oil buildup. A clogged hose can build pressure inside your engine, which causes oil leaks, blown gaskets, and even warped heads if left unchecked. Most manufacturers, like Honda and Toyota, actually recommend checking the PCV system every 30,000 miles. But most drivers skip it, and their engines pay the price. This simple check can save your engine. Do it once, and you'll thank yourself later. If this helps, like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who drives, because this tip alone can save them thousands. Tip 16. Find and fix vacuum leaks. A vacuum leak might seem like no big deal, but it's one of those silent killers that slowly destroys your engine. Even a small crack in a $5 rubber hose can throw off your air-fuel mix, overheat your valves, and even melt a piston. I've seen engines fail before 70,000 miles, just because of one tiny leak. Here's what to do. Pop the hood and look carefully at all the small rubber hoses near the intake. If any look cracked, dry, or brittle, replace them. Focus on the bends and corners. That's where they usually break first. While the engine is running, listen closely for a faint hissing sound. You can spray a little brake cleaner or carb cleaner around the hoses. If the idle changes, that's your leak. Also, don't forget the intake manifold gasket. When that leaks, your car might idle rough, waste fuel, or throw codes like P171 or P174. Some GM engines are known for this because their gaskets shrink with age. A vacuum leak might sound harmless, but it can also overheat your catalytic converter, a part that costs more than $1,000. The good news? If you catch it early, it's almost free to fix. If something this small can cause that much damage, imagine what happens when your throttle body gets clogged. Let's talk about that next. Tip number 15. Clean the idle air control valve and throttle body. A dirty throttle body or idle air control valve can cause all sorts of headaches, rough idle, stalling, or hesitation when you press the gas. This gunk forces your ignition coils and spark plugs to work harder, and over time, it can even damage your catalytic converter. Here's how to fix it. Remove the air intake pipe and look inside the throttle body. If you see black soot or sticky gunk, it needs cleaning. Use throttle body cleaner and a soft cloth or brush. Just don't spray directly on the sensor. Next, unplug the IAC valve and clean it carefully. Even a thin layer of carbon can mess with airflow and cause your idle to jump around. Don't forget to check the gasket. If it's damaged, replace it, or you'll just invite more air leaks. Put everything back tightly, reset the idle if needed, and start the engine. You'll be amazed. A 10-minute cleaning can fix idle issues that could have cost thousands in repairs. Good airflow keeps your engine running smoothly, but you also need to control the pressure. And that's where the next tip comes in. Tip 14. Inspect engine mounts. Most drivers don't realize that a bad engine mount can do a lot more damage than just cause vibration. When mounts wear out or break, the engine rocks under load, putting stress on your transmission, axles, and exhaust system. A $200 part can turn into a $3,000 repair if ignored. Here's how to check them. Pop the hood and have someone shift from park to drive while holding the brake. If the engine jumps or moves more than an inch, the mount is worn. Also, look for oil leaks around the mounts. If the rubber is soaked or cracked, it's done. I've seen an engine drop so far from a broken mount that it crushed a power steering hose. The driver completely lost steering on the highway. That's not just expensive, that's dangerous. If one mount is bad, replace both. It keeps your engine balanced and prevents more wear. Don't wait until you feel the vibration. By then, the damage is already done. Next up, a simple check that can save your engine from starving to death. Tip 13, watch for oil leaks around the timing cover. Most drivers forget to check the timing cover, but even a small oil leak here can cause serious damage over time. Oil that seeps behind the cover can soak the timing chain or belt. If that belt breaks, your engine could be done for. Repairs can easily cost over $3,000. Here's what to do. Look at the front of your engine where the timing cover meets the engine block. If you notice oil stains, damp bolts, or drips near the bottom, that's a warning sign. Clean the area, let the engine idle for a few minutes, and check again. If fresh oil appears, you've got a leak. Older engines are especially vulnerable because their rubber seals dry out and shrink, especially in older Ford and GM models. In fact, some even have official service bulletins about checking this area early. If oil gets on your belts or pulleys, they'll wear out faster and start slipping. Catching a leak early is an easy way to avoid expensive repairs later. Now let's move to another critical system, the one that keeps your engine fueled. Tip 12. Check fuel pressure and replace the fuel filter. A weak fuel pump or a clogged filter can silently destroy your engine. When fuel pressure drops, the engine runs lean, meaning too much air and not enough fuel. This can burn valves, damage pistons, and even leave you stranded. Here's how to check it. Use a fuel pressure gauge and compare the reading to your vehicle's specs. If the pressure is low, you might have a clogged filter or a weak pump. Many cars still have replaceable fuel filters. They should be changed every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. If your car sputters, hesitates, or idles roughly, replace the filter right away. Also, inspect the fuel lines for cracks and make sure all fittings are tight. The filter must be installed in the correct direction. If your car has an electric fuel pump, turn the key to on. You should hear a faint buzzing sound. No sound means there's a problem. A simple $25 filter change can protect your engine and save you from $1,500 in future repairs. Tip 11. Check engine grounds and battery cables. Loose or corroded battery cables and engine grounds can cause major problems. Low voltage affects your car's sensors, ignition, and fuel injection, leading to misfires, stalling, or even a no-start condition. Here's what to do. Turn off the engine and check the battery terminals. If you see white or green powder, that's corrosion. Clean it with a wire brush and a baking soda solution. Then follow the ground cables to the engine block and chassis. Look for loose bolts, broken straps, or frayed wires, and tighten them as needed. Don't forget the smaller ground straps. Some engines have them near the intake or transmission. A single loose strap can cause false sensor readings, trigger a check engine light, and make the engine run poorly. Good grounding keeps your electronics stable and prevents random stalling that even mechanics struggle to diagnose. Fixing one loose ground today can save you from a $1,000 headache tomorrow. Next, we'll look at a system that quietly builds pressure until one small leak can bring your entire engine down. Tip 10. Flush and bleed the cooling system. Your car's coolant doesn't last forever. After a few years, it breaks down and turns acidic. That acid slowly eats away at your water pump, radiator, and other metal parts, causing leaks and overheating. If you ignore it, repairs can cost thousands of dollars. To avoid that, flush the cooling system every 2 or 3 years. Drain the old coolant and rinse the system with distilled water. Don't just keep adding new coolant on top. The old fluid leaves behind dirt and deposits that block the cooling passages. Once it's clean, refill it with the exact type of coolant your car needs. Mixing the wrong ones creates thick sludge that clogs everything. After refilling, bleed the system to remove trapped air. Air pockets can cause the engine to overheat or blow a gasket. If your car has a bleeder screw, open it. If not, park the car on a slope and let it run with the radiator cap off until the bubbles stop. Never use plain water to top it off. Always use proper coolant. A clean, air-free system keeps your engine cool and healthy. Skip this step, and your next overheat could be your last. Tip number 9. Watch for coolant leaks around the head gasket. A bad head gasket doesn't fail all at once. It usually starts with a small leak. You might see just a few drops of coolant or smell something sweet under the hood. But if you ignore it, you could end up paying $2,000 or more for repairs. When the engine is cool, look closely where the head meets the engine block. If you see green or white stains, wet spots, or a dried powdery trail, that's a leak starting. Wipe it clean, drive for a few days, and check again. If it comes back, the gasket is slowly failing. Also, keep an eye on your coolant level. If it keeps dropping but you don't see puddles under the car, the leak might be internal. Coolant feels smooth when wet but dries into a crusty film. Once it mixes with engine oil, it creates a thick sludge that destroys bearings. Finding the leak early can save your engine. Wait too long and overheating will finish it off. Tip number 8. Listen to your engine on cold starts. When you start your car in the morning, pay attention to the sounds it makes. Those first few seconds tell you a lot. If you hear knocking or tapping, don't assume it's normal. It could mean something is wearing out inside your engine. A light ticking noise that fades after a few seconds is usually fine, but a deep, steady knock that keeps going often means worn bearings, and that's serious. Many drivers mistake it for fuel injector noise, but injector ticks are faster and lighter, while bearing knocks are slower and heavier. Low oil or clogged oil passages can make these noises worse. Always check your oil level and pressure. Sometimes a simple fix like replacing a bad lifter or cleaning the oil pickup can stop the sound completely. But if you wait too long, that morning knock can turn into permanent engine damage. Tip number 7, check your spark plugs. Your spark plugs are like your engine's health report. A quick look at them can tell you if something's wrong before it gets worse. Take one plug out at a time and look at the tip. A light brown color means everything's fine. Black and sooty means it's burning too much fuel. White and blistered means it's running too hot. Oily plugs mean worn piston rings or valves. If the tip is cracked or worn down, replace it. Make sure the gap between the electrodes is correct. Too wide or too tight can cause misfires. Also, check for thin black lines on the plug. Those are carbon tracks, which mean electricity is leaking. Most cars need new plugs every 30,000 to 100,000 miles, depending on the type. Tighten them just right. Not too loose, not too tight. Keeping good plugs will help your engine run smoother and last longer. Tip number 6. Test the cooling fans and thermostat. Engines overheat for many reasons, and it's not always because of low coolant. Sometimes the real problem is a stuck thermostat or weak cooling fans. Both can make your engine overheat in minutes. Start the car and let it warm up. Touch the upper radiator hose. It should slowly get hot as the thermostat opens and coolant starts to flow. If your temperature gauge rises but the hose stays cold, your thermostat is stuck and needs to be replaced. Next, check the cooling fans. Turn on your air conditioner. The fans should start running right away. If they don't, check the fuses, wiring, and relays. Let the car idle for a few minutes. When the engine gets hot, the fans should turn on automatically. If they stay off or spin slowly, the motor or sensor might be bad. Strong fans and a working thermostat keep your engine cool and safe. Ignore them, and overheating could destroy your engine before you know it. Tip number 5. Check the radiator and cap. Your radiator and cap might look like small parts, but they control the pressure that keeps your engine alive. When they fail, everything else starts falling apart. The cooling system usually runs between 13 and 16 psi. That pressure keeps the coolant from boiling. If the cap can't hold it, the coolant escapes, the engine overheats, and what started as a few drops of fluid can turn into a few $1,000s of repairs. Start by looking closely at the radiator. If you see bent fins, dark wet spots, or white crust around the edges, that's a leak forming. Don't ignore it. Then, check the cap. That little piece is your first line of defense. Make sure the rubber seal isn't cracked or flattened, and press on the spring to see if it still feels firm. If it feels weak or soft, replace it. Caps are cheap, but the damage they prevent is priceless. And here's one thing you should never do. Don't open the cap while the engine is hot. The pressure can send boiling coolant straight at you. Always let the system cool down first. A few seconds of patience can save your skin and your engine. Tip number 4, check the air filter and intake ducts. Think of your engine as a set of lungs. If it can't breathe clean air, it can't perform. When the air filter gets dirty, the engine starts suffocating. It runs rich, burns extra fuel, fouls the spark plugs, and puts unnecessary stress on the catalytic converter. Keep ignoring it, and you'll be looking at expensive parts that should have lasted years longer. Here's a simple test. Pull the filter out and hold it up to the light. If you can't see through it, neither can your engine. Replace it with a good quality one that fits perfectly. Cheap filters may save a few bucks now, but they let dust slip through, and that dust doesn't disappear. It scrapes against cylinder walls, damages compression, and shortens your engine's life. Now check the intake tubes that carry air to the throttle body. Flex them a bit and look for cracks, splits, or loose clamps. Even the tiniest gap after the filter can let dirty air in, undoing all your hard work. A clean, sealed intake system means smoother idle, better performance, and longer life. Neglect it, and that simple $20 filter could turn into a $2,000 rebuild. Tip number 3, keep the MAF sensor clean. The mass airflow sensor, or MAF, is the brain's eyes of your engine. It measures how much air comes in, so the computer can adjust fuel flow. When it's dirty, the computer gets confused. The result? Bad mileage, rough idling, poor performance, and long-term damage that can ruin your catalytic converter or spark plugs. Cleaning it isn't hard, but it must be done right. Disconnect the battery, remove the sensor gently from between the airbox and throttle body, and never use brake or carb cleaner. Those will kill it instantly. Only use MAF cleaner. Hold the spray about 6 inches away and give it a few light sprays. That's enough. Don't touch the delicate wires inside. Let it air dry completely for about 15 minutes, then reinstall it. Once you start the engine, you'll feel the difference right away. Smoother idle, quicker response, better fuel economy. Make it a habit to clean your MAF every time you change the air filter. That simple routine can save you thousands in repair bills and keep your engine running sharp. Tip number 2, check the oil every 1,000 miles. Most people believe checking oil and changing oil are the same thing, but they're not. You can follow every schedule perfectly and still run low long before your next change. Engines can burn or leak oil, sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly, and they don't wait politely for the next service date. Checking your oil takes less than 5 minutes but can save your entire engine. Park the car on level ground, turn it off, and give it a few minutes to settle. Pull the dipstick, wipe it, slide it back in, and check the level. If it's below the full line, add the right grade of oil. That's it. Running low even once can overheat bearings, destroy camshafts, and cause damage that no oil change will ever fix. One quick check every 1,000 miles is like cheap insurance, and it might just keep your car alive for years longer. Tip number 1, warm up before you drive hard. Here's a myth that refuses to die. Modern engines don't need to warm up. Wrong. When you start a cold engine, the oil is still thick and hasn't reached every part yet. Not the lifters, not the bearings, not the timing chain. If you hit the gas too soon, those dry metal surfaces grind against each other. You might not feel it today, but over time it quietly wears your engine down. The right way is simple. Start the car and let it idle for 30 to 60 seconds, just enough time for the oil to circulate through the system. Then drive gently until the temperature gauge begins to rise. You don't need to let it sit there wasting fuel for 10 minutes, just don't rush it. That small bit of patience, less than a minute, can add years to your engine's life. Every start, every morning, think of it as giving your engine a moment to wake up before facing the road ahead. A warm heart always lasts longer, even in a machine.